Welcome to another episode of Mike Sports. I'm your host, Eric, joined as always by Landry. Landry, how are you?
It's been a minute.
It has. We we took a little sabbatical. I took a little trip around the country, and so that was the reason for my absence. And then I'm not sure what happened last week, but yeah, we are back and better than ever, ready to talk some sports. And I feel like I have to come out here and face the music on something that I was really dead wrong on. Now, nothing's happened yet, so no news to break on here, but I said on our last episode that I felt like there was a 90 to 95% chance that Aaron Rodgers would be staying in Green Bay and never hear that noise again in life.
Yeah, hold on. Keep talking. I'm fixing that right now.
Yeah. So, sorry, we had a little production issue that has carried over into the show, but that's okay. It's not a show in the Phillyverse if we don't have technical issues. So, but I said Aaron Rodgers, 95% chance he would stay. I am now going the complete other way on this. 95% chance he is not in Green Bay in September. Like, I mean, I'd say, and I just wonder how the hell we got here, because Aaron Rodgers was the freaking MVP. And if you can't figure out how to work things out.
I'm not getting any.
MVP.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, I can't hear you. Keep talking. Let me work on my mic issues.
Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe it's best that he can't hear me while I'm sitting here just saying all the things that he would say. And so I don't have to get it rubbed in my face that I was wrong about this.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Just FYI.
Okay.
Too late. Don't escape.
Damn. Almost got my about face in there.
So what made you at this point say, okay, maybe I was wrong on this?
Just reading everything. I mean, the fact that he didn't show up to the mandatory camps. To me, I thought, you know what, sit out of optional camps all you want. And
it's the first one he's ever missed, period.
Yeah, it's the first one he ever missed. And this is a good question here. How did we get here? Look, yeah, right. He says maybe the Packers are a shittier organization than us. I don't know. I mean, they do still have a bit more success historically than the Eagles. Although, you know, the only team to ever beat Vince Lombardi in a championship game, the Philadelphia Eagles, 1960. Just a little FYI. But yeah, the Green Bay Packers now appear to be running their, franchise quarterback right out of town. And man, they better hope Jordan Love has got it. Because if he's a bust, man, does it look bad on your organization. And I'll tell you what really stood up to me too is not only have the Green Bay Packers done everything they can to make Aaron Rodgers, his departure be something that he can easily write, because I mean, in no way in my mind can he come across as the villain in this scenario. I mean, the Green Bay Packers went and drafted his replacement. I mean, instead of getting him help. And then this year, receivers on the board, again, a chance to get your Super Bowl winning quarterback, a Super Bowl potential team, get another weapon to help Aaron Rodgers, and they fail to do it again. And to me, it's like they haven't spent a first-round pick on a pass catcher in Green Bay. I mean, I don't know when the last time it was. Not at all during the Aaron Rodgers era. That's ridiculous.
So say what you want about how the onus on the Green Bay Packers or Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I put more of the emphasis on the Green Bay Packers.
Absolutely.
A year ago.
I'm 90% Green Bay Packer hater right now.
I still remember at last year's fantasy football draft I was in, and I was sitting there and I was watching quarterbacks come off the board, and a lot of people, fantasy football experts were saying they expected a down year from Aaron Rodgers. I looked over at the co-host for the Football Smack Talk show, Ryan, while we're sitting there at the one draft, and I say, I'm just like, did I miss something? Did Aaron Rodgers agree that he's only allowed to throw left-handed now? How did he slip in this draft? And it's like, I almost looked around. It's like, wait, I mean, he's still like, he hasn't already agreed to go be the new Jeopardy host, right? Like, what's the disrespect on Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
And like, I feel like he's now put in the situation where he can write his own ending, much like Tom Brady, much like Peyton Manning. And I think ultimately that's what he wants to do.
Well, look, in my opinion, Green Bay is obviously not going to get it done. And when I say that, meaning they're not going to draft weapons so that he can almost guarantee he at least appears in the Super Bowl.
That
they are drafting people trying to build and respectable. If they had a regular quarterback, they're trying to build a balanced team. And that's great, except when you have a guy who can win now.
Right. I mean, look, you have the MVP of the league on your roster. Your number one job is, hey, how can we get this to that next level? And so, like, you got to accentuate your positives. Your positives are you've got this great quarterback. Get him more weapons and put up a ton of more points and just keep winning. Like, I mean, this is an offensive league now. It'd be one thing if this was like the 80s and you're like, okay, well, that's great that we have this great franchise quarterback. Now let's build a defense so he can just go out there, make 3 plays and win a game. Like, essentially, that was the strategy for like Randall Cunningham in the 80s. Buddy Ryan was the head coach, and his philosophy was build an incredible defense. And Randall, don't turn the ball over, make 3 plays in a game and win us the game. Like, that was his offensive philosophy was don't turn the ball over and just make 3 big plays and we win. And I mean, but that's not what it is nowadays. Like, teams, like, everybody puts up 30 points every week. Like, that's just how it is. Like, if your offense is healthy and running on all cylinders, an average NFL offense now puts up 30 points. So
yeah, look, man. I mean, the problem is at the end of the day, your quarterback's your main dude. He's unhappy. He happens to be
how to make him happy.
A good debatable first or second best in the league. And all you've done is, or at least communicate to the public about what's going on, is that you're willing to sit down with Aaron Rodgers and talk about it. I think that's been your problem the whole time. He doesn't want to talk about it anymore. He doesn't want to hear your vision.
Yeah, you needed to do this.
The only thing you could tell him is, here's a 3-year guarantee, and I promise you next year we'll go get 2 receivers or the best tight end we can find. If you can't say something to that accord, then it's just more of the same of what he's been dealing with since he came in the league on that team. You're never going to get me a weapon. You're going to milk what I got left for the next 3 years with another contract you might try to throw my way. But I'm still going to witness the same type of protocol and process that you've done in the past, which means I will likely not win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and to a guy like Aaron Rodgers, I think he'd rather just say, you know, I'll go somewhere else. I'll get a similar contract to what I have here, and I'll have a chance to win.
Yeah, and do you think he really cares about not getting paid for this year at the end of the day? Hell no. Allstate pays him more per year probably than the Green Bay Packers do at this point. Or is it State Farm? Either way. Yeah. Either way, the point is that the dude's he's got no incentive to give in other than I want to play. But I mean, if it's going to continue to go this way, I don't see it. I told you this last time. I can't see this getting resolved at this point.
You think he's traded and somebody gets him, or do you think he sits out?
No, somebody will get him. I mean, I know a lot of teams will throw a lot of stuff to get Aaron Rodgers on their team, especially if they got a mediocre quarterback right now, which I'd say about 50% of teams do. So now, is it a team he'll go to? That's a different story.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's a case of he wants to write his own ending. Like
his attitude, though, like you know, I thought the Denver Broncos would be a good spot for him. Because of the Elway and whatnot. But if the rumors are true and Deshaun Watson's making a move to there, that's obviously a closed door. But I think the Raiders would be a good landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. Not from the team's ready to win standpoint, but from his attitude, the coaching there, his persona, it's West Coast. It's just much more. It feels much more Aaron Rodgers like to be on the. I was going to say Oakland Raiders, if you can believe that, on the Las Vegas Raiders, if you can believe that. But they would have to promise him. Any team he goes to is going to have to promise him what they're going to give him, at least the very next year.
Sure.
Talent wise, around him, not salary. I think they do take a pay cut at this point.
It's about the money.
If he's willing to stay out a year, then I can only imagine he's willing to go to another team for a pay cut.
Oh yeah, I think this is all about him wanting to, like we said, write his own ending. It's to Tom Brady's way, the Peyton Manning way. He wants to be mentioned like them, and I think that's not just about the Super Bowls. It's about the way he ends his career, getting to go somewhere and do it on his own. Like, not necessarily do it on his own, because nobody really does it on their own. But to go to a different place, like, I mean, Tom Brady. We talk about what makes you a GOAT. He was in one organization behind one coach, and they go year after year just tearing up the league. And then he leaves and goes and wins the Super Bowl, and the team he left didn't make the playoffs. So, I mean, that tells you right there a lot about, like, wait, maybe Tom Brady was the reason even more than Bill Belichick. And now, granted, I still think, and how cool is it that we're going to see Brady versus the Patriots this year? That's going to be fun.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think this is really funny. I think that
I agree with you, Christopher. Rodgers is great, and he isn't Brady. I will agree with that entire statement. But he's in that echelon of greats as far as, like, this era's greats.
Yeah,
like,
and Christopher, trust me, you're talking to someone who loves Tom Brady. Me and Eric have had many debates when Eric hated Tom Brady, and I always supported Tom Brady. So sure. I'm saying this about Rodgers being a huge Brady fan. But at the end of the day, Brady being a better quarterback is irrelevant to Aaron Rodgers not getting what he wants on a team he's been on for years and basically put tons of input and never had his input satisfied, and he's done. And he has enough talent and enough left in the tank to make a run at a Super Bowl and enough leverage to get on a team that he thinks he can do it with. And I think that's why he's sitting out.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, I like what Brady stands for the league. Brady stands for, you can come after me, you can throw lots of things at me. Yeah. I'm the good old train that keeps on trucking, and the commissioner comes after me and tries to investigate me and bring me down. It doesn't shatter my morale. I keep on trucking. In fact, I even produced a Super Bowl the year he tries to pull it off on me. I mean, Brady is the golden boy of the league. To me, it was once going to be Peyton Manning, but when Peyton Manning capped out at 2 Super Bowls, it left the door wide open for someone else to look like the golden boy, which Brady obviously times almost 4 now. But yeah, right. God, that's amazing. Think about that, man. The gap between Brady and Manning. And when you think about Manning, awesome respect, all that talent, all the thing, and Brady still got almost 6 more Super Bowls than him if he produces another.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's insane.
I mean, he's already got 5 more than him. That's insane.
But if I'm Aaron Rodgers, honestly, I call Tom Brady. I talked to him about how he handled his situation, his inner thoughts, his communication maybe with other people in the league, and to give Aaron Rodgers some perspective on the best way to travel. I mean, of course, Aaron Rodgers might be too prideful to do that. Don't know.
Well, if he calls Tom Brady, I think what Brady might tell him is, go out there, play this year. You're the one that's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. Like, leave the team at the end of the year and go write your own story somewhere else. Like,
yeah, right. If you play this year and you finish the thing, you don't have to worry about any drama at the end. You just go your separate ways.
Right.
Right. You just cut ties. Thanks, everybody in the league. Thanks for being a teammate. Nice playing with your coaches. Y'all were great. But the fact is, he's going to walk away from a team that's only given him 1 Super Bowl, and I think he's chapped. His hide is chapped because of that at this point.
See, I think the feelings that Rodgers felt are very similar to what Brady felt. The only difference is Brady wasn't public about it. Brady just stayed behind closed doors, probably aired his issues there, but continued to show up, do his job, and just when the opportunity came for him to leave, he left.
I think the difference between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, though, or the team they played on, is that the Patriots had a much better chance of getting back Super Bowl and actually winning it than Aaron Rodgers has on his team.
See, I think if Aaron Rodgers stays there, like it's still because it's Aaron Rodgers, they have a chance to be right back where they were. They have a chance to be right back in that NFC title game, right back, but it's just.
We'll get to the Bell comment on Reed. I have opinions on that. But no, I agree with you to an extent. But I mean, look, man, the Patriots were a dynasty. Green Bay is not. Right? So every year for Green Bay is a crapshoot. Every year for the Patriots is just about guaranteed you're winning your conference. I mean, that was in the bucket. There was nothing to debate there. Like, who's going to take them down? Nobody.
Yeah.
The only true contender they would ever face was in the championship or the Super Bowl. For Green Bay, that's not the case. They could just have an off year, and that'd be the end of that.
Yeah, I used to joke around. It's like, if you're a Patriots fan, at some point, do you stop collecting all the because I have for the Eagles in 2017, I have their NFC East Division Championship shirt, their NFC Championship, and the Super Bowl. Like at some point, like if you're a Patriots fan, it's like, oh, the 2015 AFC East Championship shirt. Do you really even get that? Like, do you just say, I'll skip this year and I'll wait till we get
Yeah.
Like who's wearing that division title shirt out in public or something? Like at a certain point, it's
like what they should have done
Super Bowl one.
Like around their third Super Bowl, they should have just produced a shirt that had like the next 10 years on it, just covered of AFC championships. Of course, that wasn't the case in every one of them, but it would have been easier to take a red marker and just mark out 2 of them than to have to buy a shirt for every single one of them.
Right.
That's a good idea. Someone should make a shirt with all of them, but just red X's over the ones they didn't, just to show how dominant they were over the course of time. Yeah.
Just look, we mass produced this shirt just figuring it would come out every year.
It's easier to take them off than it is to produce another shirt for each individual year.
Great question. Yeah, we are discussing quarterbacks tonight, but yeah, I'll get into the to the comments by Le'Veon Bell. I guess he, clearly wasn't happy with not being used hardly at all by the Chiefs. I mean, it kind of felt like the Chiefs got him just so that nobody else could take him and use him against them.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to play for Andy Reid. Here's the beautiful thing, dude. You don't have to sign for an Andy Reid team. I don't understand. Why make that public? Like, why come out with that? Like, just go sign somewhere else.
Yeah, let me point to a bigger symptom here. He comes from the dismantled and the misunified Steelers team of super divas that haunted that team, and he's just a piece of that leaks his divaness out from time to time. He didn't get things as much as he wanted when he went to the Jets. Although he got himself, on a team that's Super Bowl bound by going to Kansas City, he's still not a unit guy at the end of the day. He's an him guy. And he didn't get his stats. He didn't get his carries. And that's symptomatic of being on that stupid Steelers team that had too much attitude and the coaches getting in a fight at bars and all that crap. And to me, he's just a byproduct of that system. And it came out when he went to a team that was unified.
Completely agree. I completely agree with all of that. He's a guy, it's like he doesn't – certain guys are just winners. Like you talked about all the division championships, conference championships, and Super Bowls with Tom Brady. Like that'd be another discussion. Like if people who just want to discuss Super Bowls, that's a good go-to to talk about it when you talk about a quarterback and their success, talk about their Super Bowls. But, man, talk about the division titles, the conference championships. Like, my God, this guy he was a consummate winner. And whereas Le'Veon Bell, I don't want to sound too negative when I say this, but what other than the Chiefs this year, which he was not a big part of, what division championship team was he on? I know the Steelers had a monicum of success when he was there, but not to any consistent level. like they were those teams. I always felt like they were overhyped because the Steelers. Yes, you're right, Christopher. He's a loser. Like Tom Brady's a winner. Le'Veon Bell is the other end of the spectrum. He's a loser. He's like you were just talking about. I say it a little differently. He's a me guy, not a we guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it comes down to. And the guys who are successful in this league are the we guys. The guys who want to like you work together. You're not worried about the individual success or the the accolades that you attain. Like Tom Brady, the MVPs and things that he's gotten, it's just because he's the quarterback on the team that won. Like it's not like he went out and sought after these things. It's not like he lobbied for him. He didn't go like he was never the highest paid quarterback, even though everybody would say he was the best. And there's a reason for that because he wanted to win more than he wanted the top. Like guys don't sit around. I don't think anyway. The guys who are the ones that are going to make it to when they have grandkids and sit around with their grandkids on the porch and say, man, when I came out of college, when I played in the NFL, I made, $20 million a year. I signed a $17 million signing bonus. They talk about the teams they were on. They talk like Tom Brady's going to talk about the championships he was on. Like in 2001, taking the Patriots, who were an underdog, everybody just thought they were lucky to make it to the playoffs, and takes them and wins the Super Bowl. Like that's what Tom Brady's going to talk about. He's not going to talk about any big signing bonus. He's going to talk about the teams he was on and the championships they won. That's the difference between a guy like Tom Brady and a Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. And, and I hate hearing the old argument right away. What people go to is, oh, well, he's married to a Super Bowl wife. He doesn't have to worry about money. Yeah, but at one time he wasn't. And he still was that type of guy.
Right.
So, although life gets easier when you combine incomes, that obviously Brady didn't turn into that guy because of that issue. He always was that guy.
He valued winning over money.
A lot of people say money changes you or power changes you. I was like, no, it just makes you more of who you really always were. And Tom Brady, as he became more flexible, turned into more of who he always was, a flexible, willing to sacrifice person to get the ultimate goal, which is Super Bowl.
He's a we guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to get on this topic. I knew once we got onto the quarterbacks, in particular Aaron Rodgers, we'd probably spend most of the show discussing that. But I want to get into real quick. It seems to be a common trend ever since the league, especially since the league went to the 8 divisions of 4 teams, that one team goes from worst to first every year. Now, it just, for whatever reason, it always seems to happen. I think there's been like once or twice in the, what has it been, 18 or 19 years since they've gone to the 30, since they gotten 32 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So of the 8 teams that finished in last, which are the New York Jets, I knew this before. I had it all memorized.
Bengals.
Yeah, Jets, Bengals. Who finished last in this? Oh, the Texans and the Broncos in the AFC. Of those 4, any team stand out, or what team would you say has the best chance? To go from worst to first.
Well, depending where Deshaun Watson goes, if he goes to the Broncos stays on the Texans. He can turn, a 7 or 8 game season for the Texans or the Broncos just by being a player on their team. But let's count him out. Let's say this guy's accusations hold him out of the league for half a season.
Sure.
If that is the case, I'm going to have to go with Broncos. The Jets are a dumpster fire because of their ownership. The Bengals, although they're going to have a more potent offense, their defense isn't what it was under the previous head coach. They don't have perfect being able to hit people and refs miss it apparently and kill them on the field. And the Texans without Watson, they might as well be playing in a junior league or Pee Wee football league. But I'm going to have to go with the Broncos. Obviously, if Deshaun Watson stays, I'm going to say the Texans.
Okay. See, I don't think either of those teams are going to do it. But then again, It's usually a team you don't think is going to do it when they do the worst to first. But I'll choose the Cincinnati Bengals as my choice just because of that offense. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase being reunited, I think that's going to help them a lot in Cincinnati.
As long as
Burrow's healthy.
Joe Burrow doesn't take him. If Joe Burrow takes a major injury again this year,
yeah,
he's now Carson Wentz, and he's toast.
See, I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to say after, because then everybody's rushed to judgment because I know they all rushed to judge Carson Wentz. He got one injury and it was, oh, he can't stay healthy. I was wondering when the first person was going to say the same thing about Joe Burrow. Like, oh, he couldn't stay healthy. He had 1 year. Like, can we give him a chance to get adjusted to the NFL before we decide he's injury prone?
Yeah, I'll give anybody 1 year to recover from a major injury and not get another major injury. Okay. But if you get another major injury, I'm going to have to start saying you're a great player. You're just not going to be here very long. Even if you want to be, you're one of those. Hey, look, and to people's credit on the Cowboys, Tony Romo became very injury prone at a certain point in his career. And then it was collarbone, back, one thing after another. And even he had to admit and hang it up. It wasn't that his age.
I'd say Chris
you're
on fire tonight.
That was a good game.
You were on fire tonight, Chris. Appreciate all the support here. One of our great contributors. He's a good guy. Big part of Phillyverse.
Well, Eric says he's a good guy. I heard a lot of rumors about him. I'm not sure how I feel about him. I'm still
about me or him?
Yeah. Down here in Texas, I heard that he helped a homeless guy, but by the time I got down here, I heard that he beat him up, took the homeless guy's wallet, and then ran him over with his car, laughed while smoking a cigarette, and drove off. So things change by the time I received them.
You know what?
I got to clear some
Both
stuff up
stories seem believable.
about Christopher down here.
Seem believable.
Yeah.
All right. So okay, I'll move. Let's move on to the NFC. Obviously, the Eagles are the only clear choice as the worst to first team. But just in case you want to talk about some of the other ones, we can talk about the Detroit Lions. Who's the NFC South last place team?
Did you just say Detroit Lions?
I know, right? The Atlanta Falcons.
Taking them to the promised land. I will say this. How about this is a good topic.
Yeah.
And I was talking about it with someone at a coffee shop the other day. Who do you think is the greatest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs? And who do you think is the greatest threat to the Buccaneers?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, you know who I'm going to say is the greatest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Buffalo Bills, baby. Bills Mafia, stand up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that. I'm gonna have to agree with that. You got me on the bandwagon. They're the ones who I don't even think if they got to the Super Bowl, I don't even think they'd win it. But if anybody's gonna knock Kansas City off, it's going to be them.
Well, I mean, the Bills, they can't win this.
I will say this. Who's your runner-up? Who's your runner-up behind the Bills?
Okay. I'll take the Cleveland Browns.
I would too. That's what I was going to say. That's what made me think. I go, what? If Buffalo just flopped it up, I think the dog pound Browns could bring the heat. All right, NFC.
NFC, as far as the team that's going to compete for, it depends on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, if Rodgers stays, I think the Pack. If he's gone, who I love a ton, and you're gonna laugh at this.
Let me laugh real quick. Hold on. All right, go.
Dude, don't sleep on the San Francisco 49ers.
That's my pick. Dude, it's like my third year in a row. I keep saying my dark horse every year is the San Francisco 49ers.
I like what they did. Like, I know my reasoning behind thinking San Francisco was going to be bad this past year was just I thought the Super Bowl hangover, the Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not a believer in Jimmy Garoppolo, but I like this Trey Lance. And when he gets in there, I believe in Trey Lance, and I believe in the rest of that roster.
I believe in the organization having Lynch and Shanahan. And let's not forget, I don't know why we're not talking about Bosa on defense.
Right? Nick Bosa.
I mean, yeah, dude's a beast.
I feel bad. I had to put this up here just for you. I'll have to put it up here. I'm assuming as a team that could compete in the NFC.
I totally disagree with the Jimmy G stinks. I think Jimmy G is a solid quarterback in this league. I think to me, he needs to be in a Patriot-like system. He doesn't need to be in a run and gun, fancy play calling style like Shanahan would like to be calling.
Mhm.
He needs to be in a prototypical system. That's what he came from. That's what he was raised on. That's where his forte is. So I don't think you see the best of Jimmy G unless he's in that. But you throw a Trey Lance in there with a Shanahan able to flip his cap up and call some wild calls.
Yeah.
You got to see some good plays.
Yeah.
And I agree, Christopher. I think if Dak is healthy this year, I think the Cowboys are going to be pretty productive this year.
And here's his AFC pick. He's going Indy. Yeah, I mean, I like Indianapolis, and especially now that they've got a really good quarterback in Carson Wentz. I'm gonna throw some support behind the Colts. I feel like the Eagles and Colts have tried to be they've tried to build off of each other. A lot of Eagles going to the Colts, Colts going to the Eagles.
You talk.
Yeah. So I do like Indianapolis a lot. As far as last place team, to go back to the topic I was on, the last place team that we could contend this year, the San Francisco 49ers. We just chose them as our dark horse team in the NFC. I think
Green Bay and Kansas City are the greatest threats to the Bucs.
Yeah. Well, like you said, Green Bay, if Aaron Rodgers stays there, I'll take it. Yeah.
I do think that this year the Cowboys will make the playoffs, but I don't see them gelled up completely and ready to take on someone like the Packers with Rodgers. Mm-hmm. If the Packers aren't with Rodgers, then I could see a battle between the Niners and the Cowboys.
I'll tell you another team that I really like from the NFC, and I was on them a little bit last year, and I said I might be a year early on the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh my God. I can't get with you on the. I feel like this is like the third year. You're like, man, I think the Cardinals got it this year. I can't pick Cardinals. It's like when you kept going for the Chargers in the AFC. You're killing me.
Dude, I'm telling you, Chargers, they're a team, man.
You're killing me, dude.
If somebody from their division is going to contend with the Kansas City Chiefs, the LA Chargers, you watch it.
Okay. Look, you already know I think their quarterback's a stud and can play.
Oh, yeah, Justin Herbert's
but I think the organization sucks, so it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the thing. I think this could be a year where they go on a run. I'm not saying win the Super Bowl, but I think they could knock out the Chiefs and be like the team that keeps them from going to the Super Bowl.
Hey, look, here's the good news.
And then they lose to the Bills in the AFC.
Here's the bad news and the good news.
Yeah.
The good news for the Bucs is last year they played in a park with receivers trying to see their chemistry and whatnot. In a COVID year, they got cited because they weren't even supposed to be trying to get the receivers and quarterbacks together because of COVID. And they still pulled off a Super Bowl with a little bit of chemistry build on that offseason. This year, they had a whole year to build it up and bring all their players back. So they're going to be even better, in my opinion. The Chiefs, on the other hand, now have been exposed on how to beat them. To me, and they aren't as good as they were last year. In my opinion.
Have your offensive line be decimated.
Like the Bucs, like what are you going to do? There's not more film, on them to see how good they are. It's they're more gelled than they were last year, which makes them even worse to deal with. To me, defensively, offensively,
it's always the story with Tom Brady. If you get him off his spot, you make him throw on the run, you're going to have a better chance. The problem is he's so good at being patient in the pocket and getting the ball out, avoiding the big hit, that you don't get to him.
Or, the flip side is their defense is probably going to be even better.
Oh, this comment's too good for me to not put up here. Now, I know you don't know who that is.
Who the hell is Brett Brown?
He was the old Sixers coach who, before Doc Rivers this year, which, by the way, we're about to check out of here because anybody in Philadelphia who's
Sixers on tonight,
going to be watching the Sixers tonight. I know down there in Texas, you guys, especially in Houston, you guys have forgotten what NBA playoffs are.
Yeah, we don't even know what that looks like anymore. Everybody abandoned us. Yeah, our team. I mean, have you seen our jerseys, our new jerseys?
No, I've not.
Yeah, they don't even have our team colors on them. That's how far we abandoned our team. They're like baby blue and white.
It was bad when the beer vendor said he was leaving Houston. He wanted out.
Yeah, and they did a press conference for him and everything. He said, "Look, I've been offered over $50 more a month on this other team in this other stadium, and
Oh, Chris,
for
believe
my
me, I've been
retirement, and my
trying to
family, there's
educate
no
this
way I
guy
can
on
pass that up."
basketball.
Yeah.
He doesn't like basketball. He keeps asking me, when do they hit each other? And
Did I stop watching the Spurs when the coach started talking about Trump? I didn't know what the Spurs do anymore. Yeah. Although I did like Tim Duncan's Hall of Fame speech with his dreads to one side of his head. That was different. That was different. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Niners, man. And my runner up is gonna be the Cowboys.
Okay.
I can't see. I don't know, man. You know me. I've been doubting Rodgers coming back to the pack for like four. Well, we've had a gap in our shows, so I'm gonna say 2 months. I've been doubting Rodgers' return to the pack.
Yeah, and like I said, I finally faced the music tonight and accepted that I don't think Aaron Rodgers is coming back.
Yeah, and I mean, I am excited to see him go to another team and just shake up the league a little bit.
I'm all for shaking up the league and just having fun. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, who the hell, think about it, who the hell really wants everything to be the same as it was last year when the new season starts?
Dude, you know what would be pretty cool?
Nobody.
Aaron Rodgers to the New Orleans Saints.
That would be sick.
Right?
Yeah, they would easily be the NFC versus the Bucks front runners.
Yeah, I mean, and they play each other twice. That'd be awesome.
Or hey, what if Rodgers could go to any team besides our teams?
Right.
Where do you think? What do you think is the best fit for him? Period.
I mean, I honestly think Denver is.
Yeah, I think so too. If I'm them, I would look at. I think Elway should think about Rodgers like he did about Manning when he brought Manning. Get a couple of Super Bowls.
You're not bringing him
out
to be their quarterback for the next 10 years. You're talking 2 to 3 years max.
Yeah, I say 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rodgers plays for another 4 years. I think he can win 2 Super Bowls in those 4 years.
Yeah, I agree. And if I'm Denver, he like in my mind, I just know what Aaron Rodgers is normally. Imagine Aaron Rodgers extra motivated now. Like I do think he's going to win 2 Super Bowls in the next 4 years. If I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm thinking, well, I mean, I'd like to win 2 Super Bowls in the next 4 years. Let's bring him in.
Yeah, which brings us to, do we think Brady will hang around the league after another Super Bowl? I think he wants 8. I think an 8 he's done, personally. I think that's his.
I'm almost convinced now that it's not so much that
in the undefeated season.
Like, I don't think it's so much that he wants to achieve. I think he looks at it as long as I can keep doing this and be the best at it, then why am I not going to keep doing it? I think he's looking for that guy to come along and topple him. And
I think he's chasing an undefeated season.
I think he's waiting to get chased out of the league. Like,
I think he's basically saying to himself, what haven't I done? Where is my name not going to be mentioned? Or where's it going to be going? Dude, you were so close, but you couldn't get it done. And that's going to be an undefeated season.
Or he could just be, as Chris has said, Brady could be 47 and still doing this shit.
Hey, I hope so. I love Brady, man. I hope this dude haunts teams for until I die. I hope I'm 97. I'm in the hospital with my family and look on the TV, and Brady gets hit, and bones and dust fly everywhere, but he throws a TD to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm a Brady fan. All right.
Yeah, I've noticed. All right, everybody, we're gonna check on out of here. So check us out next time. We'll get into some more stuff. Maybe we'll have some fun, do a little off-topic stuff. But
maybe we'll bring Justin in next time.
Yeah,
we'll do a three-way.
Definitely, we should bring Justin.
We'll bring another dude in. Yeah.
So yeah, and this is gonna be how we go out tonight. Let's go Sixers.
All right, I got a vomit bucket.
Everybody have a great night. Check out all our